Hey gamers, it's G from the corner, and today I want to talk about Rick. Alright, Rick. Rick is the man of the hour. Rick is the legend himself. Rick is the meme of the month, and I couldn't be happier. I've been talking about Kirby Air Riders quite a bit on the corner. Obviously, it's about to launch, so I'm very, very excited for it as a big, long-time Kirby fan. But also being a big, long-time Kirby fan, I love the wide cast of characters in this series. And one of my favorite little guys, little hamster fellows, has to be Rick. Rick is an animal buddy, animal friend, whatever the appropriate term is. I don't know what they're called in the Kirby series, but he is a partner character that you can use in Kirby's Dream Land 2 and Dream Land 3. And he is joined by an assortment of other animal friends. Those characters originally were only really in those games. They got references in other Kirby games, but they didn't make any physical appearances until much later in the series, about 20 years later almost. I think Rick cameoed in Kirby Triple Deluxe and then, showed up in Star Allies, got merch, and then, now here he is in Air Riders. Rick was in the group of characters who had their one or two appearances and then were kind of vanished. They were whisked away, never to be seen again. But now they're allowed to pop up anytime again. After Star Allies kind of just blew the lid open and was like, okay, here's everybody. Everybody's allowed to exist again. These characters are not limited to their 2D appearances from 30 years ago, which is cool. It's really, really cool. But what's been even cooler than that has been Rick's presence nowadays. Because of how much attention Air Ride is getting, thanks to its developer, and this is the new game from Sakurai. You gotta pay attention to this game. This game is Sakurai's passion project, which I cannot believe is a narrative that people are still running with, despite the fact that Sakurai literally looked directly at the screen and told us that Nintendo told him to make this game. But I digress. That's an argument for a different video. It has been so much fun seeing how much people love Rick. I've always loved Rick. I always thought he was cool. He was probably my second favorite animal buddy right behind Pitch. Pitch was great. He's like a little green bird, and he's just great. I love him. He needs to come back next. Just seeing the love for Rick, though, it's like, oh my gosh. First of all, Rick's entire presence in this game, when I think Rick, I usually just kind of think of him standing there, smiling. That's about it. Maybe I think of him as being Australian thanks to the Kirby anime, but otherwise, he's just a guy. He doesn't really have much emotion, and they definitely ran with that because he really looks like he doesn't know what's going on half the time, if I'm being quite honest. Look at his victory animations. He's just sometimes he's shaking his butt at the screen, but he has no emotion in his face, okay? He's not smiling. He is not happy or distraught. He is like a dog. He acts like a dog in this game. He's either there's no in between. And I kind of love it. There's some frames and animations and stills of him where he looks like a little distraught, what the heck, when he's been blown up or something. And honestly, they just look amazing. I don't know what it is, because the model to me looks almost identical to his model from Star Allies. It doesn't look like they changed that much about how the character himself looks, but yet he feels like a completely different character, and I absolutely love it. I think my favorite has to be his special, of course, Rip-Roarin Rick. He gets off of his vehicle and just starts bolting it. He just starts gunning it down the track or the city, depending on what mode you're playing. And it's fun. It's a very cute thing. Rick was always about ground traversal in the Kirby games. The other animal buddies either could fly or swim or just had other gimmicks like Nago and Choo Choo. But Rick, he couldn't fly. He couldn't even double jump. He could wall climb, but he is kind of the one who is for ground traverse. I mean, you're mainly using him for his abilities and the things he can do, unique to what Kirby could do with his own abilities. I guess I should explain how the animal buddies worked, because I doubt a lot of my audience has played Kirby's Dream Land 2 and 3, despite them being very easily available to anybody with a Switch, which is unfortunate. But in those games, Rick, Kainku, Pitch, Choo Choo, and Nago, these 6 animal buddies, could be paired up with Kirby and augment your copy abilities. In these games, copy abilities only were a singular move, but if you had an animal buddy, that move changed. So fire was a fireball with Kirby, but with Rick, he would breathe fire or blow it out of his nose in Dream Land 3. I think that's absolutely adorable. the other ones would do similar things, like you pair fire with choo-choo, it becomes a hot air balloon essentially, and like fire with pitch, you throw them around as a fireball. I hope I have visuals for a lot of these. I don't know if I'm gonna go through the trouble of editing them, but yeah, you know, that's kind of what I think of when I would think of these characters, right? But now here comes Rick being the one who gets in Air Riders. Actually, that's another big thing. So back in my Air Riders roster prediction, I didn't really think much of the Animal Buddies making it in because we had already seen Kine in the background of a stage, and before Rick had been revealed, Ku was actually very easily seen in another stage. So I kind of figured, okay, the Animal Buddies are probably just going to be reserved for background cameos. I can't really think of that much they could do that would be very unique, but clearly Sakurai did, and that's why he put Rick in the game. Rick is he's a runner. He's running down the track, you know. There's not really many Kirby characters who can be classified as runners, so I guess Sakurai went with that, with Sakurai and the team, of course, went with that for Rick, and I think it came out very well. This makes me wonder about a few other characters. This is, I guess, going back to roster speculation, even though by the time the video goes up, we probably will know whatever hidden characters are in the game. You know, Adeline and Ribbon were appearing in Star Allies. I don't really feel like they would be appearing in this game, though. They'd probably keep them separate, you know. I've wondered if the three Mage Sisters from Star Allies will appear in this game, but I'm starting to think maybe just like Francisca will appear. There's no ice users on the roster, so maybe there could be some interesting stuff that she would do alone, as separate from Zan Flamberge and Parmesan Cheese herself. So I don't know. You know, it was an interesting choice to just go with Rick, but the reaction is kind of the main reason I wanted to make this video. Rick has blown up. From the second Ultimate made the edit of him running down the track with the and Eddie sound effects, I am just, oh my god, everybody loves him. Everybody loves this hamster. I know friends of mine who are like, Rick is the GOAT, he is my main in this game. You know, when Rick was found to be a playable character in the online demo, at the time of this recording last weekend, people were like over the moon about it, okay? I saw so many videos that day of like Rick's in the lobby. He has a taunt where he shakes his butt. That is so funny to me. I know like it's not really that funny, but like seeing Rick do that is just like Rick wouldn't do that. Like Rick would not do that. He's not that kind of guy. And I don't know why Sakurai thought he's that kind of guy, but you know what? Fuck it, man. Fuck, he is now. I don't care. I'm not going to complain about it. I think it's hilarious. But like, whatever, right? And you know, it's just so much fun. And of course, rip-roarin Rick, all right? I thought that was crazy in the races, but I have seen so much seizure-inducing footage of somebody being like, look at this thing I did in City Trial where they like knock a dude out and the portals start spawning and then they activate their Rick special. They're just running from like place to place and literally like the screen is going to explode and every single item on the ground is being collected and now Rick is maxed out and is zip zooming across the entire map. It's so chaotic. I actually unfortunately have not had the chance to play the demo at the time of this recording. Hopefully I will be able to before the game comes out. Regardless, I mean, the game's out in less than a week as of now. So, hey, very excited for that. But like just seeing the love of Rick, I think that's like one of the things that has made me so pumped about this game. Like, you know, Forgotten Land already kind of brought the series to more people's attention, even though Kirby's obviously a popular series, but you know, hearing like the wider gaming space be like, oh yeah, this Kirby game's pretty cool, right? Like, it's a pretty cool Kirby game. But now I'm hearing them do that again with the Kirby game that's paying homage to every single game in the series. I mean, well, come on. Like, we've got characters like Taranza, DeRoach, Rick, Marks, Magolor. Like, there's so many characters from all across the series, so many ripped music tracks, and, like, a ton of stuff. And I'm sure there's plenty in the game itself that they didn't show ahead of release. Like, you know, it's just... it's incredible to me to see all these people loving this hamster. I always loved Rick. Ever since I was like 8 years old and I played the Dream Collection, I loved him. I thought he was an amazing goober. And seeing him in 2025 getting so much love from everybody else is just insane to me. It's actually unfathomable, honestly. I hope the same love is poured out to other characters, but I mean, Rick is such a meme. I mean, everybody loves Rick. You know somebody's gonna make a video asking for Rick to be in the next Smash Bros. Now. That's the unfortunate truth, but he's not getting in, but people will be asking for that. Maybe he could be like an assist trophy and you could like ride him. Yeah, that'd be cool. You can like ride him and then depending on the character, maybe it's a different, I don't know, I'm just thinking, I'm talking about a completely different game at this point. Yeah, Rick's cool though. I kind of just wanted to talk about Rick because everybody else is talking about Rick, and I always wanted to talk about Rick, and now I have an excuse to, and I'm really happy. I'm really happy that everybody loves Rick. That's it. That's really all the only point of this video. Keep yourself scoring for more pointless videos like this, and I'll See you guys later.
Hey, look, it's me favourite snack. I think I'll have myself a bar.